Hi everyone, my name is Chandan and welcome back to my channel Energy and Environment Education. Friends, this is chapter 2.2, that is boilers, and part E. Basically, I have divided the entire chapter into different parts, part A, B, C, D, and this is E. So all the parts are equally important because you can expect to have different questions and lot more important questions from each and every part. So if you have missed all those parts, part A, B, C, and D, you can go through them. All these parts and videos that I made is uploaded in my channel Energy and Environment Education. Friends, you can go through all those videos on this chapter, as well as I have also uploaded videos on different chapters which are equally important for the energy auditors exam or the energy manager exam. So if you're going to take this exam in this year or in coming years, these chapters, these videos can be really important for you to prepare your exam in a better way, friends. So please go through the videos if not yet, and also an appeal from my side to please subscribe my channel. This will really motivate me to prepare more such videos in coming days and post for you in my channel. Also please like the videos if you think the content or the presentation that I'm preparing for you is good enough and really helping you out in your preparation of exam. Also please share the videos to your colleagues also, because this may also help them in the exam preparation, or also may develop their thought process to go for this energy management something in their future course of time, friends. So these videos are very much important, not only for the exam, also for uh, those people who are looking forward to shape career or build career or switch career in energy management field, or for them also this videos can be helpful, friends. So please you subscribe the channel and also pass on the videos to each and every colleagues or friends whoever you think it's important for them, friends. So that's all. Let's start the video today, and we'll start with the content first. So as far as the content is concerned, friends, basically I'm going to deal with two important points. First point is a boiler blowdown, and also I'm going to discuss about improving the boiler availability, friends. These are two important aspects that I'm going to discuss on this particular video, friends. So if you have missed the other parts, other things that I've discussed in different videos that I've made, please go through them. And also this part is also important, equally important for the examination point of view, friends. So this video will contain this point, basically boiler blowdown part and the improving the boiler availability part in this particular video, friends. Now first of all, you need to understand, friends, what is the boiler blowdown. What is boiler blowdown all about, why it is important, why blowdown is important, and how frequently you should go for the blowdown. These are the things that you should understand. What are benefits of the blowdown, and also need to be understood from exam point of view, friends. A lot of questions you may expect in the exam also. First of all, they may ask you to briefly explain the what is boiler blowdown. This is the first thing. Second thing is they may also ask you to give the cite the some of the benefits of boiler blowdown, and also they may ask you to how frequently you should go for the blowdown, those things. This type of question can be asked in the exam, friends. So understanding the boiler blowdown part, when water is boiled and steam is generated, any dissolved solids content in the water remain in the boiler. It's a very common phenomena, or you can say easy concept to understand. When the water boils, all the other particles or dissolved solids remains in the container itself. That you must have observed in your home also, when you boil the anything as such, water in your container, any equipment. So you can see the dissolved solids left behind after the water evaporates. So same thing is same phenomena is happening here. Same concept applied here also. So when water is boiled and steam is generated, any dissolved solids contained in the water remains in the boiler itself. Now what happens if more solids are put in with the feed water, they'll concentrate and may eventually reach a level with their solubility in the water is exceeded and they deposit from the solution. So if the more solids are there dissolved in the water that you are feeding, so you'll have more content. Once the water changes into steam, more and more dissolved solids will remain in the boiler part, and it will start building up. So you need to go for the blowdown. You need to remove all those solids from the deposits from the boiler, friends. And for that only the blowdown is important. Above a certain level of concentration, these solids encourage foaming and cause carryover of water into steam. So these are the drawbacks if the concentration of dissolved solids inside the boiler increases in some course of time, in few days, or you can say, or some course of time, friends. So in that case, what happens, you need to remove that thing from the boiler. The deposits also lead to scale formation inside the boiler, resulting in localized overheating and finally causing boiler tube failure. So this is very much important for you to understand why this blowdown is important and what you are doing in the blowdown. Basically, you are removing the deposits which are getting accumulated here in the boiler in due course of time, friends. It is therefore necessary to control the level of concentration of the solids. First of all, you should understand you have to concentrate, control the concentration of solids. First thing is that, and second thing is you need to have the blow down in time to time periodically. So you have to control the concentration of solids, and that can be achieved by the blow down. Where a certain volume of water is blown off and is automatically replaced by feed water, thus maintaining the optimum level of total solid deposits in the boiler water. Blowdown is necessary to protect the surfaces of the heat exchanger in the boiler. However, blowdown can be a significant source of heat loss also. So this thing is very important, because once you are going for blowdown frequently, this also leads to losses of heat, friends. So that also is an important point, that how much you must go for the blowdown and how frequently you should go for the blowdown. That is also important, because if you go frequently for the blowdown and too many blowdowns, if you do in your boiler section, friends, in that way what happens, basically you can have at the loss of high amount of heat also, friends. The maximum amount of total dissolved solid TDS considered permission in various type of boilers is given below. So you see here different type of boilers are there, and the TDS amount is also presented here in this table. So you can see different. You can see Lancashire type of boiler is having 10,000 ppm, and smoke water tube boilers is having 5,000 ppm. So this is only the figures that you must understand. You must remember. It's not so important for the examination point of view, but yes, this part is very much important, where the explanation of the boiler blowdown is given here. So one thing is why, what is blowdown all about, why blowdown is important, and uh, how often you should go for the blowdown. The third part I'm going to discuss in the coming slides, but the first two parts, what is blowdown and why the blowdown is important to be carried out, these things I explained in this part, friends. So coming to the third part, how often you should go for the blowdown. So there are two types of blowdown available here. First thing is the intermittent blowdown. The other one is the continuous blowdown. So in the case of intermittent blowdown, you can see here the intermittent blowdown is given by manually operating a valve. So it is, first of all, it is done manually, and second thing it is like suppose if you're operating a boiler for a shift. So in once a shift you are going for 2 minutes. So this is done by manually, and for 2 minutes you can go for the blowdown. It's not continuous. Once in a shift you can go for the this type of blowdown, where you are extracting the all the deposits inside the boiler chamber, friends. So this is a not a continuous process, it's an intermittent process, which is from time to time you are doing the blowdown manually, friends. So as a thumb rule, you can have for 2 minutes you can have one shift of operation of boiler, friends. Intermittent blowdown requires large short-term increases in the amount of feed water put into the boiler, and hence may necessitate larger feed water pumps than if continuous blowdown is used. So in the case of continuous blowdown, compared to the intermittent blowdown, you can have a smaller pumps, but in this case, high amount of deposits are concentrated there, because you are doing only for 2 minutes, and also you are doing time to time, not continuous. So you can assume that you can have a large amount of concentrated deposits there in this period of time. So in that case, you need to have a higher size pump, larger size pump, to extract all the deposits from the boiler, friends. So this thing is having using the higher size, larger feed water pumps, and in this case, for the continuous blowdown, you have the smaller size uh, pumps can use, friends. So unlike the intermittent blowdown, in this case you are having not using the manual sort of blowdown. It's continuous and automatically it is done. So there is a steady and constant dispatch of small stream of concentrated boiler water and replacement by steady and constant inflow of feed water. So this is a continuous process. It's not an intermittent process. That's what I explained in the last slide. And it's not done manually. It is happening automatically, friends. So there is no need for regular operation intervention. So nothing is done manually here. Automatically it is carried out, and it is not from time to time or once in a shift. It is continuous basis, friends. Now this particular formula is also important, friends, for the calculation of blowdown percentage. You should remember this formula. Number of times questions have come in the examination where they have asked you to calculate the blowdown percentage using this formula, friends. Now in this, you can see here, they have given one example also where the maximum permission limit is given, that is 3000 ppm. Also percentage makeup water is given here 10%. TDS in feed water is given here 300 ppm, and then they are asking you to calculate the blowdown percentage. So using the formula, above formula, just putting the, this, all the, parameter whatever given it is, given here, and you're calculating the blowdown percentage as 1.11%. Now sometimes in the exam they may either ask you to only calculate the blowdown percentage, or also they may ask you to calculate the blowdown rate. In that case, they will give you the boiler evaporation rate is, rate as, like in this example, they are given the boiler evaporation rate as 3000 kg per hour, and then they are asking you to calculate the blowdown rate, friends. So formula will be, you have to multiply the boiler evaporation rate with the blowdown percentage, and then you can calculate the, blowdown rate, friends. So this is also important formula. Both the formulas can come as a whole in the exam, or partly they may ask you to calculate it only the blowdown percentage, friends. So it's very important as far as exam is concerned. They may also ask you to, explain some of the, okay, state some of the benefits of blowdown. So these are some of the points here listed which you must understand, also remember, as far as the benefits of blowdown is concerned, friends. So basically, with the help of blowdown, you can have lower pre-treatment cost, less makeup water consumption, reduced maintenance downtime, increased boiler life, lower consumption of treatment chemicals. So I'm not going to explain you in detail all these points. It's, self-explanatory and easy to understand all these points. How the blowdown can help in a, better life of the, better maintenance or better increase in life of the boiler, friends. Those things are here given, so it's easy to understand. And please remember these points. This may be, asked in exam, to list it out, friends, as the benefits of blowdown. Now coming to the second part, improving the boiler availability. Basically, what's happening here? You need to understand one thing, friends, that you have to maintain the boiler in such a way that there is a, minimum, any disruption in the boiler, and boiler is operational at the maximum time. And for that you need to assure, you have to maintain the boiler in such a way that there is no anything as such, any damages in the boiler. So basically, one of the damages, most important damage that takes place in the boiler is the, tube leakages, basically, and you need to avoid those tube leakages. And for that, you need to take certain steps. So basically, there are different causes for the tube leakages. Tube failures in boilers lead to reduction in the availability and call for continuous efforts to minimize the tube leakages. So basically, what's happening here, there are different, most of the time there are a lot of tube leakages happening in the boiler, and that has to be avoided with a better maintenance, friends. Tube failures can attribute to design, manufacturing, operational maintenance, and aging related aspects. So these are the area reasons why the, tube failures can take place. So failures mechanism can be classified as mechanical. Either mechanical cause can be there, chemical cause can be there, metallurgical or any other inadequate quality compliance can be there. The reasons for the tube leakages, and you need to understand those causes, and you need to take certain actions to, to mitigate those leakages, ongoing leakages, friends, in the boiler tube, such that the boiler is, properly working and efficiently working, and available at the maximum time for operation, friends. Coming to the mechanical causes, mechanical damage of tubes can take place due to fly ash erosion, steam impingement from soot blowers, falling clinker, and fuel particles. These are some of the reasons why this thing is happening. So you need to do such a, maintenance practice, or you can say, operational practices, such that there is less fly ash erosion coming out, and also the steam impingement is less from soot blowers, and also fuel particles of falling clinker is minimum as possible. So this thing has to be, taken care as an operational practices or maintenance practices, such that you have minimum mechanical causes for the, tube failures, boiler tube failures, friends. Also, there are some other causes, friends, like chemical causes, metallurgical causes, and quality assurance gaps. These are some of the other causes, which leads to the, leakages in the, boiler tubes. So I'm not going to explain you in detail here all these causes. Yes, you can go through, you can read it and understand. But all these causes has to be remembered as far as exam is concerned, because they may ask you to explain the different causes, which leads to the boiler, tube failures or tube leakages, friends. So these causes has to be remembered, and point by point you can explain in briefly all these causes, like the mechanical causes, the chemical causes, the metallurgical causes, and the quality assurance gaps. So these are the different causes that you should understand, you should remember, and briefly they may ask you to explain in the exam as a short type question, friends. So with this, I'm ending the part E, friends, and hopefully this part can help you to, prepare your exam in a better way. you should have got some concepts, some insights about the chapter, about this part of chapter. I also am going to upload a new part, that is part F. So please watch other parts, part A, B, C, D, if not yet. Also, I hope this part is going to help you out in the exam. And please connect with me. Please be connected for the other videos. Part F also I'm going to upload in few days. So be connected and please watch all the other videos if you have missed it, friends. And last not the least, before I end this presentation, friends, this video, friends, please I would like to request you again and again, please to connect with me. If you have any feedbacks, comments, inputs, please write to me. This is my email ID and mobile number. Also please subscribe my channel, friends. This will motivate me to prepare more such videos. And also please press the bell icon so that you get the instant notification as soon as I upload a new video, friends. I'm going to make videos on different chapters. Accordingly, I have already made some videos which I have uploaded there in my channel. You can go through my channel, that is Energy and Environment Education. Also, I'm going to make videos on other aspects also, not only the energy audit or energy and manager exam part. I'm also going to upload a lot of videos on sustainability, environmental, and other aspects, friends, which may help you out in your exam preparation, other exam preparation, also for your understanding, for your career growth. This thing can help you out. So this thing is free of cost. I'm not charging anything as such. Only I'm requesting you to subscribe my channel so that you get connected to me and you get a lot of good important videos. I hope so. These videos are helping you out somewhere or the other, and will also help you out in coming days, friends, which I'm going to upload in different areas in energy and environment domain, friends. So please be connected with me. Any questions if you have, please feel free to ask me, and please press the bell icon before you leave, such that get the instant notification as soon as I post a new video. That's all for today, friends. As far as this video is concerned, I hope this video has given you some insight and some inputs about the exam, which is important for you to understand. And please be connected with me, and please join me in the other video that I'm going to post in coming days, friends. So that's all. Thank you and have a nice day, friends.